Hey, Dave Powell here, Tone Devil Guitars. Just getting a little further along on this S12 for Guitar Center. The bridge has been on for 2 days now, full cure, so it's safe to string it up, put tension on there. So I'm going to be doing that, but first, I like to put my pickup in. So I've got my rope light. I think we talked about this in the last video. These are really handy to get light inside of the guitar. So I like to put it through the tail hole here. And wow, look at that, it actually lights up the top of the guitar. You can kind of see in there, you can see the braces.
See the bracing in there.
See the bracing with the light, kind of cool. Look at that, pretty cool. Anyways, I'll be putting the pickup in on this one. It's just kind of a good opportunity to do it. I know exactly where they get mounted, so I don't really need the strings on there to find that out. I just put these 3 elements in there. You may have seen these before. These are my 3 little handmade, homemade, shop-made Tone Devil contact piezo elements. They're, I don't know, about this, a little bit bigger than a nickel, a little smaller than a quarter size, but the larger elements have a little bit more volume than some of the smaller mini ones that you see other people making. So I like those for that reason. They're louder, they have a little bit better bass response. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in. This one's, one goes right about here between the B and the E string, and then another one goes kind of right in between on this low E. I just pretty much put it right on that low E string, and that catches the first bunch of harp strings as well, but it really accentuates this middle of the guitar. It's kind of a sweet spot right there. Sometimes I pull it back just a little bit to kind of spread it out for the harp strings. And then the third one, of course, goes all the way on the lowest sub bass, but usually there's a brace right here. Let's see if we can see that brace. Yeah, so you can see the X brace goes right in front of this sub, and so it's kind of cool with that light in there. So you can see that I'm going to have to put it kind of in front of that brace, and I end up putting it right on the spruce right about here inside of there. And that, you know, since you're not on the bridge plate, it ends up making it a little bit louder. That's the sweet spot for the sub bass note here, and it pretty much picks up all those real nicely. And it's a good balance. It's a good way to do it, so that's what I'm going to do.
All right, while Dad's over there doing some thickness sanding, I'm going to work on this nylon string guitar. I've got a coat of polyurethane sealer on the top, so I just have to do a little bit of scuffing and put another coat on that. All right, there's the Dave Powell brand new harp guitar. Signature harp guitar. I'm going to take the clamps off there and get that thing ready for binding today, so yeehaw. Okay, so Dave's going to do a little string up on this S12 standard model. So I'll time lapse that so you can see how he does the bass string.
All right. That's how I do them. I just break them off.
Okay, now I've got Dave's harp guitar in the binding routing station, which is this very large table with this cradle that holds the harp guitar, and then we've got our binding router assembly there that the router can ride up and down this channel. This is a Stuart McDonald product, but I was able to change it so that it could handle doing the harp guitar. So I actually, I don't know if you can see this. Some of you Luthiers recognize this thing. This section here is actually normally bolted upside down on the table, and then it gives you about that much clearance between the bit and that edge thingy, that support there. So I mounted it upside down, so I got a lot more clearance back underneath here to deal with the inside harp arm there. So anyway, we're about to route the binding channel on there, and I think Dave's going to go with maple binding with some purfling in there. So.
Kind of draw the heel in. Yeah, right there. And then also the neck heel. The same thing. Like just draw.
All right, Dave and Dad are doing a little bit of book matching over there for a top and a back, a top and a pair of backs for our next couple of builds. And I'm looking for some binding wood. These are tops. Got a bunch of hardwood down here. I think I found a nice piece of figured maple for Dave's binding for his signature harp guitar. So I got this nice piece of figured maple here. You guys see some figure in that. So there's some bits of some nice figure right there. So yeah, this would be a nice piece for some binding. So we'll make some maple binding. Okay, so here I am at the bending station here. I got the harp arm side being bent here. This is the binding for Dave's harp guitar. Got bending, got these heat blankets heating up, and I'm just bending one piece of binding each here. And then I've got the treble side over there, and so just kind of slow process, bending the binding. Okay, it's a whole new day. It's been over the weekend, and we're back in the shop. Can't remember exactly where we left off. Anyway, Dave's working on this 12-string guitar with the rosewood back and sides, and I'm getting some work done to this classical guitar here. I think I got all the sealer coats on there, and I got it scuffed up nicely, so it's got a nice satin finish, so I can put it in the spray booth, and Dave can get busy with that in the spray booth. Dave, you got anything to add?
I'm just finishing up here on the 12-string lefty. So this will be the left-handed one. And my dad came in and book matched the rosewood. Nice, really nice looking Indian rosewood.
Wow.
Doesn't get much better than Indian rosewood. That's pretty much the Rolls Royce of body tone woods. We've got another one here. This is the 12-string version. the 24-string version of the left-handed harp guitar. This will actually be the outside of the back, right? Because it'll be like this. This will be the inside.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. Has this nice little kind of wash out there. The grain kind of comes together, so you can see the book match. You can see this is book matched set.
Gorgeous.
Really nice.
Absolutely gorgeous. It's really a pleasure getting to work with such nice tone woods. Some of these custom orders, people are asking for some exotics, and it's a real pleasure to get to work with them. They're a lot more hard to find lately, much more expensive, so we just have to kind of deal with that and find some sources. They say most of the Indian rosewood is already in the States that we're going to be using, so for these custom builds. People have already stockpiled enough of it. So we just have to find those folks and get some of it shipped over to us that are the right sizes. Harp guitars are definitely one of the things that are an anomaly in the guitar world. It has that asymmetrical, set of back and sides and top for that matter. So anyway, back to work. Next thing I'm going to do is Dave's going to help me route the binding channel on his harp guitar, and I've got these two nice pieces of figured maple binding that I'm going to glue in there. And actually, I think there's a little Purfling channel as well. So I'll be putting a nice little strip of this black, white, black Purfling along with the binding, so it'll look real nice.
Might have got a little deep. Try it.
All right, so we just routed the binding channel in this harp guitar. Next, Dave's going to be changing the bit out on the, actually just the ball bearing out, so that we can do just the Purfling channel on the top. So we're going to be doing binding, maple binding, and a nice little black, white, black Purfling, and then the back will just be routed flush, and we'll just smooth that all out. It'll have nice chocolatey walnut side rim to walnut back. And yeah, so here we go. So right here, Dave is setting the depth of this Purfling cutter so that we can get just the right size for the binding, or for the Purfling.
All right.
So the Purfling will go up to this Purfling point here and bee sting there, and then the binding will continue here. Same thing on this side. It'll have a nice little miter right here where the Purfling crosses the spruce, and it'll be binding right up around to there. So that'll look real nice. What do you think, Dave?
Pretty cool. It's a nice guitar. One piece walnut back.
Oh my goodness.
Really awesome.
Look at that.
There's no book match. It's just one solid piece of wide black walnut. Looks like there's a little sapwood in there too. That's kind of cool.
Oh, a
little bit of sapwood's always cool. I actually put a little chunk of sapwood right here on the inside harp arm where I cut the side too short. So I had to fill the gap. And I think that's some walnut sapwood right there, which actually will match the maple binding.
Yeah. That thing's going to be awesome.
Got my cutaway.
And the levers. You'll have the levers so you can
Cutaway and the levers.
Fast tuning changes on the
You don't really need much
strings.
more on a harp guitar than that. Just the cutaway and the levers. You don't need super trebles. I mean, they're cool, but I don't use them, so I can take them or leave them. But this will turn out awesome. Heck yeah.
So Dave's right now. Dave's going to be marking up where the chest bevel is going to go in.
So I marked the side already, you can see, but I kind of have to transfer it to the top.
The back.
The back, rather. So now I'll layer down, and this was the template I made from the block on the inside. So this is the shape of the inside, and as long as I just match these two up to my edges of the block, I should be able to just, that's it right there. So that's how much real estate we have for the chest bevel. Let's go ahead and pencil line it. I wanted a little bit more chest bevel up past the waist a little ways. So I play Western style, so my chest hits the guitar, you know, it hits it right here, and it goes up past the waist, and that's where I get a line on my chest all the time, and a constant perma bruise on my rib cage. So I kind of wanted it to go up a little bit further up the chest there.
It's a big piece there for you, Al. You ready for it? You want this one or that one? I hope you didn't drop that whole thing. Oh, just that little piece. Oh, don't worry about that. I think that's probably pretty good. This is completely perfectly flush, and this is just ever so slightly proud.
It can get scraped down.
Okay, so we got the binding channel routed here up into the neck block. So now I need to do the purfling channel. I have to extend this little channel. So first I've extended this channel up into here. Now I have to extend the purfling channel. So that's just another little bit, like about a 1/16 of an inch. And that has to go in here.
So the fingerboard will cover it.
Yeah, the fingerboard covers it from this pencil line here.
Forgot to hit record. Nice.
So let's see how I did. A little purfling piece here. I don't think it's quite deep enough.
Depth, as long as there's not a gap. It actually doesn't matter the depth because there can be.
No, not the depth, but the width of it's not quite deep enough
width.
into the channel there. It actually goes from deep to shallow here, so I need to change the angle of that thing. Actually, it's not too different. So, for some reason, this purfling is a little thicker than the depth of the channel.
Yeah,
than the width of that channel.
It's like 6'7" or 6'9",
Yeah,
8 or something on that.
Let me look at how this binding is going to match up to that.
So,
is the binding going to end up beveling out?
So what you need to do is you got to take that purfling and like take a razor blade and
If I take give it a haircut there.
flip it over, maybe flip it around.
This is just a little sample piece, but yeah, I can tell that that
helps.
that's thinner already. Yeah, it feels thinner. I can tell it's flush now.
There, problem solved. How to deal with too thick of perfling.
Yeah, it's still just a tiny bit of a gap there, but it's a lot better. Yeah, that's easy to deal with. So I got a little sample piece of binding there, and then a little sample piece of purfling, and it fits in there pretty nicely. And once you, you know, tape that up there, it squeezes in nicely and seats very well. And the binding purfling will go all the way up to here, and I've got to cut this little piece in here, put a little bee sting right there, and then cut the purfling channel is right to there. You can barely see it. There's a purfling gap right there. That's going to come up to here and have a nice pointy bee sting, and then the binding will continue on up to here. And then we're going to do a binding from there to there too. So look real nice. This is going to be the All right, guys, I'm going to have to call it there for an episode today. This episode is just getting to be too long, and I have to apologize because I totally missed a great opportunity to film Dave demoing the finished Guitar Center S12 standard model, and so yeah, that was a bummer. We got it. He did a great demo of it and had it all strung up, tuned up with the pickup system, and then plugged it in, tested everything out. We got it all boxed up, took it over to FedEx today. I was just a little busy with another little project, and so I didn't catch that. But anyway, I hope you guys had a great episode. We really are having a great time in the shop producing this stuff, and thank you guys for watching it. Like, subscribe, and share our videos if you like them, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.